for the last 2, 3, 4 NuVoodoo live sessions, we've been really kind of emphasizing in 2023, a successful digital ad campaign has to be contextually relevant. That is, you want your promotion to find people when they're at the very least at the top of your funnel in the branding consideration stage, and we want to work them down the funnel into the purchase phase. And we think there's no better way to do that than with what my next guest does for our company as one of our premier partners. We've been working together for close to 20 years, Ken. We started out working in radio together and newspaper, building advergames.
Advergames. There's a word from the past.
There's a word. The old Flash product that no longer exists. But the concept is still very valid. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to count down the top 5, what I'll call contextually relevant, what's a good word for it? Activation apps, I guess. It's getting people excited about your product through an interactive exchange, mostly driven by contesting.
Yeah, it's all about engagement. It's about engaging consumers and attracting them to want to share data and through methods that are exciting. And there's a lot of different ways to achieve that.
Now, many on this call or this today's session will know Ken from his reputation as an insured prize vendor, right? You've done a lot of that. What we mean by that, or maybe give some examples. The half-court shot for $50,000.
Sure. Yeah, sure. That's one of them.
Giving away
millions and millions. Yeah, giving away millions and millions of dollars, whether it was an on-air contest like the birthday game or any of the sports contests like half-court shots or field goal kicks, to being on site at a store and seeing somebody pick a winning money bag, open it up, and it has $100,000 certificate inside it. So we've paid out a lot of money over the years.
And Ken usually packages his insured prizes in a contextually relevant fashion so that it's on strategy for the brand or business, and then now his interactive apps that he built in partnership with our digital team really do get to the other really important thing we have to do in 2023, and that is capture data, because he or she who owns customer data really is impervious to the vagaries of changes in the digital landscape, laws and so forth. And the more data you own, the more of a pool of people you have to be able to remarket to.
That's right.
So without further ado, let's get into it. Our top 5 interactive contest apps for 2023. So at number 5, we're calling these the sports pools and predictions. This is a pretty big category for us.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a March bracket contest, which is one of the more popular ones. Certainly, everybody plays 2 or 3 of these. In this case, we build a full website. You try to predict the perfect bracket to win the big insured $1 million prize, and you can see there's guaranteed prizes. Guaranteed prizes are critical because you want to have winners no matter what happens. And so you're looking at a chance to win a huge prize, and that's why people are entering and sharing their data. In this case, there's a giant leaderboard, and you can track throughout the contest of how you're doing against other players who have entered. So, certainly in March, this is one of the most popular programs that we build. And very timely, Mike, with the NFL schedule being released soon.
You just got done with the draft, which is another one that you do, and this one's the schedule maker.
Yeah, you try to predict, all the weeks of who your team is going to be playing for a chance, in this case, to win $100,000. And in this case, we used the Jets logo because the Jets were the client. But if they weren't the client, we can make this generic where you can still do the contest and be compliant, for running the contest. And we certainly assist with that. So really a great contest, and this one leading into NASCAR. So any sports, whether it's baseball or hockey, or in this case, NASCAR. And this is really interesting because this is a weekly contest where each week there's a NASCAR race. You come on, you try to predict the top 10 finishers to either get the best score for the guaranteed prize, or if you get them all correct in the right order, you win $10,000. So it includes both the sweepstakes element and the shared prize.
So any brand or advertiser that needs to reach men 25 to 54, I can't think of a better thing. You have the sports orientation, so motor oils, insurance companies, beers, bars.
Mm-hmm. Yep, all those are key categories for that demo. And if that's not your demo, then we would create something for whatever your demo is, because our games run the the gambit of what you're looking to create.
All right, let's move on to number 4. This is one of my favorite games. It's called the Lucky Number Guess. So this one generally doesn't have to be, but it generally involves an insured prize because you want to offer a large prize.
Yeah, I mean, you're in essence, this contest is trying to guess what the winning 6-digit number is, but you can achieve that whether it's a check number guess or a gift card guess or the last 6 digits is within. So we make it very creative.
For a car, right? Vehicle identification number. Yep.
Exactly, yeah. So, and you can see on the right side, capturing data on qualitative questions for depending on who the client is. So in this case, you're trying to guess the winning check number to win a $100,000 shopping spree at Jordan's Furniture. And while you're entering, you're giving the client valuable data of when you're looking to buy, what type of product you're looking to buy. And then you obviously have the chance to win the huge prize. And in this case, if there is a winner, my company would write a check to Jordan's Furniture for the $100,000, and they would award $100,000 in furniture to the user. So obviously a win-win for the client if there is a grand prize winner.
And these microsites that we build have lots of brand integration, right? And ability to share on social media. They're mobile compatible. So they really do help a brand have the consumer sort of get really enmeshed into the product. And then the other thing I'd say is on strategy pricing. You got to be really into skiing if you want to participate in a lift tickets for life promotion. And that's what we mean by contextual relevance.
Yeah, the client's going to get data, and it's not going to be just random data. It's going to be really consumers that are entering that are right in line with who they want to be marketing to. And by answering those questions, those opt-in questions on the right, it's really going to be key for them for follow-up.
All right, let's move on to number 3. This is, I call it mystery list, but you might call it a winning list. This is another one that I think is pretty popular.
Yeah, if you look at this contest, it doesn't look hard, and that's the great thing about it. You can take any product, in this case, it's automotive or auto vehicles. And again, you're asking key questions of the entrants, but the idea is that you're going to click and drag each item to the position you want to put it in from 1 to 10. You're creating your winning list. In this case, you're parking vehicles in an order from 1 to 10. And my company randomly pre-selects the winning list before the contest starts. And at the end, we check everyone's entry. And if anybody created a list that matches our list, they win the big insured prize. In this case, they win his and her vehicles, and we write a check to the dealer for 2 cars, and they award it to the winner. And again,
this can be cars, it can be celebrities, or here's another example, home builders.
Yep, absolutely. Click and drag, create your list from 1 to 10. If you create the winning list, in this case, you win a $200,000 dream home, which is the insured prize. Yep.
Great. All right, let's move on. Number 2. This is my absolute favorite execution. We call this fun on the way to the registration box. It's basically a distraction that gives people the chance to score a prize instantly, right then and there. So this is less about insured pricing.
Yeah, this is all sweepstakes. So the clients will have an allotment of prizes they want to award. And we're building a digital game where they get to award those prizes. Maybe it's 1 a day, maybe it's 10 a day, maybe it's 2 a week for 3 weeks. And we create a game, in this case is a scratch card, where we will schedule winners throughout the campaign. And if you happen to play at the right time, you win whatever the designated prize is for that time. Along the way, people come back every single day trying to win. So it's a very sticky game. And it's also you're capturing their data and you get to remarket to them, hopefully on a daily basis.
Yeah, this is one of our most popular executions for our media clients. TV stations do watch and wins, radio stations do listen and wins. And what we do is give a list of keywords to our clients, right? And they can announce those at set times throughout the day. That actually becomes your admission into the game. So once you register, whenever you hear a new unique keyword, that's your entry pass into making another attempt. And it just so happens that if you happen to show up at the right time, based on the random times that you programmed into the server that are the winning outcome times, that will determine whether you win or lose.
That's right. It's another opportunity to have appointment listening or appointment watching for your clients with the keyword. And we build the program and the back end where you have to enter the correct keyword to, in this case, to seat and spin the wheel. And then, as Mike said, we're programming winning times throughout the campaign.
Now, the other thing we're able to do is winning, losing scenario, which is going to more often than not, somebody's not going to have a positive outcome. You can give away
Correct.
Secondary prizes, as Ken mentioned, but also this is like a mass coupon distribution mechanism.
It really is, because when somebody gets the sorry screen, you have an opportunity to award them an offer, a special, a discount. You can send them or direct them to a certain website to see another offer or special. So there's always an opportunity to market to somebody, even when they're not the big winner of the prize that you're definitely giving away.
Now, Ken, you have a lot of what I'll call the boilerplate type games, where it's really easy for an advertiser who wants to get up and running fast, and they can plug their logo into a slot machine or a wheel. But the real benefit here is the instant win, the actual integration into the sponsor's intellectual property, not unlike that beer scratch card we showed you at the very beginning. I think that's what really makes this special.
Yeah, absolutely. If we have a little bit more time than a quick rush, we could really create a game that's spot on for what the client's brand is. So if it's something like, if it's an on-premise location, we could create a bar where you're sliding a glass down the bar, and if it stays on the bar, you win the grand prize. So, I mean, we really have the ability to create some amazing programs. And this racing one came from a client that was a racing theme, and that's why this was created. So.
Now, not everybody has the budget to do an elaborate, what I call fun on the way to the registration box distraction. Sometimes we have to get down to basics. So it probably is not surprising that our number one execution is it's our digital team working with Ken on building a microsite, contest microsite, where we're essentially just capturing data and offering a prize. We call this Enter to Win.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the most obvious one that we're going to build, and the quickest, where it's a straight register to win. There's either a guaranteed prize, or in this case, it's you register, and if you're selected as a finalist, and in this case, if the Mets hit turn a triple play in the third inning, you win the insured prize. So these microsites could either be an insured prize or really a sweepstakes, where you're registering, and at the end, a winner is selected, contacted, and sent whatever the prize is. So still really popular and really easy to build.
And these can also be keyword and QR code activated. So you could actually require a purchase on premise, provided you give an alternative means of entry that's free. You can really activate people on site, right? I know you're doing that a lot with some on-premise clients.
Sure. We have on-premise clients who, when you get a receipt, there's a code on it, and it drives you to the website, and you can enter the code for a chance to gain another entry in the contest. Or there's an alternate means of entry where you can mail into a postcard to get an equal chance of winning. So, and a lot of this is driven also through QR codes, as you're seeing here, where, an end cap displays, or at an aisle of a store, you scan a QR code to be driven to the website. That drives people into the store where you have to register that method. So
when you give us a ring, we ask you kind of what's keeping you up at night, and when appropriate, if us building an interactive app and doing an on-strategy prize, whether it's insured or something that you provide, and secondary prizes where we create a whole consumer activation program. Once we understand the needs, the next step is to get Ken and his team on the phone with our digital team, and we go to work building an execution. And the template is pretty simple. Whether we're doing a prediction game, a spin to win, or some kind of winning list or mystery check number, whatever that thing is, it always starts with the on-strategy prize offer and the data capture mechanism. And Ken, I know in some of the fields we've shown, it looks like just an absolute ton of data. We, of course, advise our clients to ask for the least amount, and most important, that's totally customizable, right? A client can ask as many or as few questions and data variables as they want.
That's correct. It's totally up to the client. We create the registration fields based on what the client wants. We certainly, as you said, you want to limit those opt-in questions, just so that you don't have people drop off. But yeah, we could ask anything that the client wishes to capture.
And one of the other nice things about these interactive applications is we, especially the ones where we're going to ask people to come back and participate again and again. Like, for example, in the Shop and Win program, where they're going to a store and getting a code on a register receipt to go back and take another chance at the instant win or get another entry into the registration box. They have to enable cookies in order to have a more convenient repeat experience. And we all know that once permission is given, that empowers us to be able to remarket to them, not only through bounce back vehicles, but through digital advertising across the whole spectrum, from connected TV through the display network ecosystem.
Yeah.
And then we have our Sorry about that. We're both so excited. So we have our kind of our fun on the way to the registration box moment. And then afterwards, we're able to activate folks with couponing. We talked about contextual on-strategy pricing. You have to be really into bathrooms to want to go out of your way to win a $100,000 or $10,000 bathroom makeover.
Yeah, and obviously when you're supplying the client with the data that was captured for the sweepstakes, in this case, you're really going to be giving them qualified leads, and that's the key thing. It's not going to be random data. You're going to have qualified leads because by how they're answering those opt-in questions on the right side of the registration page, and as Mike said, chance to win a bathroom makeover, most likely getting a qualified lead in that case.
Or if you're a radio station, you're interested in reinforcing your classic rock image, you can hand us a list of your best testing artists, and we can create the winning list game out of that.
Yep, everything's customizable.
Now, the other thing, Ken, why don't we talk a little bit about this too, because there's increased touches. Some of them will be more obvious, like what you're about to explain, and some of them less so, which I'll tackle.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing a promotion and you have an opportunity to have somebody register for that promotion, they can get an email immediately after they register. You could also remarket to them using their email address that they submitted during registration with a reminder email, and then a post-campaign follow-up. And those are things that either the client can do on their own or we can assist with.
And as we're building a first-party data list, we have the ability to ingest that into every major app platform. And whether it's called a custom audience or a tailored audience, each sort of walled garden has their own version of what they call it. But the point is that email address is usually what you're using to log in to these platforms. And so the easiest way to re-find someone on Facebook is once we have their email address, we're able to then serve video ads and display ads. And for programs that involve repeat consumption, whether that's the more you shop, the more you win, or in the case of a radio station, if it's you listen for your name game every morning at 7:20, we're able to serve reminder ads to help you drive that increased consumption. And so that's part of the digital marketing upside. And then, of course, Ken talked about the lead qualification and how important that is. And for insured prizes, I think you might have mentioned this, but I think it's not lost on me that when we're giving away motorcycles, we're offering it at the retail value, but you're not writing the check to the winner unless they want the cash, right?
That's correct. It's really up to the client. But if somebody wins a motorcycle, we're gonna pay the client, and they're gonna give the motorcycle to the winner at full retail. So that's what they're insuring it for. So the client makes a sale in that case, which is nice when there's a
gets their money back on the promotional extent and then some. And then, Ken, I think it's a lot of the other details that we rely on you to help us execute. The one nice thing about your company is being joined at the hip with us. It's a pretty big team, and we're able to cover all these little details.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's on-site signage that's needed, because we have a full print facility. So if you're having one store or multiple locations, banners, posters, signage, that's all included with any program that we do if it's needed. And then really the compliance and the legal end, we're writing the rules, we're writing the disclaimers, and we're making sure that any program that our clients run is run the right way without any issues, and it's a great experience. And we have a full team that assists in all of that.
And our advertisers and clients only need to bounce back off their project manager, you and the executive sponsor from NuVoodoo. That's pretty much the team. And then the other thing that I like about the expertise and experience you have, particularly when it comes to things like sports, it can be the intellectual property rules can be a little daunting, and nobody wants that letter.
Nobody wants that letter. We frame those letters if it was to happen. We really know the rules. We know what you can say, what you can't say. We've been doing this for so long, for 25 plus years. And so we keep it generic enough so that you're compliant. And whether it's the NFL or Major League Baseball or any of the leagues or, a concert venue or a concert company, we know the things you can and can't say, and we build the programs accordingly.
One of the nice things about the marketing component to this, again, keeping on that theme of contextual relevance, if you're doing a sports-oriented activation program, we can do things like geofence the stadium or the facility where the team plays, and we can target folks on a 6-month look-back basis in specific day parts. So when the stadium, for example, is hosting a particular sports game, and over time aggregate a pretty substantial pool of what we'd call qualified leads. And so even before your program is beginning, one of the best ways to to find and serve ads to qualified leads is to geo-target events where people have been. We also add things like contextual advertising, some of the things that we've talked about in the more recent NuVoodoo live sessions. So I won't get into it in too much detail here, but we have the ability to crawl video content for the audio and figure out if something is relevant. So if it's a home makeover program for a DIY vendor, we're able to make sure that their ads are running into DIY type videos on YouTube and elsewhere online. And we can extend that capability into the display ad space through what's called browsing audience and contextual AI. And if you'd like more information on that, you can watch our previous NuVoodoo live video, which I'll put up at the end of this if you're on YouTube. So Ken, that's a lot to cover. I'm sure people's eyes are glazing over, but you always join our phone calls and help walk our clients through all of these executions.
Absolutely. We're available really at any point, and love to get on a phone call and brainstorm campaigns and ideas. That's what we do. And we love doing it. And it's been a fantastic partnership doing it with NuVoodoo.
So one of the things I'm hoping we can do when we have you back is, because everybody wants to know about those times where the half-court shot has gone through the net, where we see you sprouting a forehead vein of angst, or whether the team makes the triple play, or the golfer makes the hole in one. I'm sure you've got some stories. What if we do a top 5 insured event on-site countdown so advertisers know what's available?
Would love to do that. I have so many stories of winners. It could really be a lot of fun to talk through those.
Well, we'll get scheduled for that next summer. And thanks so much for joining us today for this edition of NuVoodoo.
NuVoodoo builds digital.
Oops.